Alberta has declared an early start to its wildfire season 10 days sooner than usual. Because there are currently 55 active wildfires burning, Alberta says 900 firefighters are expected to be ready by April, and the province is aiming to recruit at least 100 more to be ready by May. Todd Loewen is Alberta's Minister of Forestry, and he joins me now. Minister Loewen, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks a lot. Happy to be here.
Here it is late February, and a lot of the country is worried about blizzards and snowstorms, and Alberta's worried about firefighters. How many fires do you actually have burning still in the province here in winter?
Yeah, we have over 50 fires burning right now, and we have wildfire firefighters fighting them right now. We've, the official wildfire season ended in November, but actual fighting the wildfires has continued on. Obviously, we have to do the best we can to protect communities and homes and the Alberta public. And so we continue to fight these wildfires even in winter conditions, which of course is very challenging.
So the fact that you have more than 50 fires burning when there's snow on the ground and the temperatures are cold, that certainly helps explain the urgency about getting ready for the upcoming season. I mean, last year the wildfires had 38,000 people forced from their homes. How worried are you about the upcoming season? What can Albertans expect?
You know, we're preparing for the worst because the weather conditions right now are indicating that we're going to have a bad year again. But that could change very quickly with a few timely snowfalls and maybe some timely rains early in the spring. So we're preparing for the worst and hoping for the best as we go into this next fire season.
I've seen a lot of projections, though, Minister, about drought in Alberta this year. I know that's rough for farmers, which is a core industry, but it's definitely not a good sign for forest fires when you consider what happened a year ago.
Yeah, for sure. You know, we're watching those weather trends and keeping an eye on things. And you know, the biggest problem we have when it comes to drought right now is there's no snowpack in the mountains. Not enough, anyways, to replace the water that was evaporated and was used this past season. So we're keeping an eye on that, keeping an eye on the weather trends. Again, hoping for some more snow yet this winter, but we have to be prepared for that to not happen. So that's where we're at right now.
Okay, so let's talk about those preparations, because you know, unless you have some magic formula we don't know about, you can't make it snow, you can't make it rain. So what are you going to do? I saw you're hiring extra firefighters, but what are you going to do on the prevention side? Other steps you're going to take to try to limit the wildfire season this year and limit the evacuations after a rough year last year?
Yeah, so we're doing multiple things. We've started the fire season early this year. We've kicked it off 9 days earlier. So now people that want to start fires in the forest protection area have to get permits. That'll allow us to know where these fires are going and make sure that we can watch the conditions and either approve or disapprove those permit applications. It'll also give us an idea where holdover fires may occur come spring. So it's giving us a lot of data there. And we've also started, we also have our wildfire firefighters prepared 2 weeks earlier. That'll be on April 15th. Normally it was May 1st, but when we look back at last season, we had a lot of big fires start the very end of April, and we want to be prepared for that situation. When we look back at last year, those fires started so early that a lot of our lakes are still frozen, which didn't allow our water bombers to be able to pick up skim water off those lakes. And so it put us at a bit of a disadvantage, but again, we're going to be doing everything we can to make sure we're prepared going into this fire season. So
the hiring of firefighters, I'm sure you heard and saw the criticism a year ago that your government had cut some of the fire prevention funding that had existed under the Notley NDP government. There's criticism now from the New Democrats in your opposition that you need to make these wildfire firefighters year-round employees and not seasonal hires that you surge up. How do you respond to those critiques, sir?
Yeah, so no, we've had firefighters fighting fire all through this year. So we do have full-time firefighters working. We have full-time staff working within the department. And again, we've got contracts that we have right now. And even right now, we have 196 wildfire firefighters right now on the landscape right now fighting fire. And we also have probably about 50 regular staff working, doing the same, plus all the other personnel that work on wildfire throughout the year. And so we do have a lot of firefighters and a lot of work being done year round in this department. And I think we're coming into this season in good shape. We have fires to fight right now, and we are working on those. And as things ramp up into the spring, then we'll be bringing on more and more staff as we go.
But you know, is this staff that you surge up? I mean, clearly you're going to need these every year. The planet's not getting any cooler, and wildfires are getting more common and more intense. I mean, do you need to change your human resources model here, and rather than surging up to deal with the season, have people there year round so they can be trained and get started on the prevention measures earlier in the year?
Yeah, so no, we've extended our contracts coming into this year from 93 days to 123 days to make sure that we go into the fall and far enough into fall with our regular contracts. But again, when we look at our staffing levels, on a normal year, we would have probably 6 holdover fires. This year, we have over 50 holdover fires going from one season to the next. Again, we continue to fight these fires and make sure that we're doing the best we can. When it comes to fighting fire in the wintertime, of course, we have problems with trying to pump water when the water's freezing and frozen. And we also have a little bit of a problem moving equipment around because a lot of the ground isn't frozen enough because we've had a relatively mild winter. So when we look at all that, and of course, we will be adjusting as things go along. But there isn't any jurisdiction in the world that fights wildfire that has everything they need for the absolute worst year. We have systems in place across Canada and around the world where we share resources, and that's something that's been done for decades and continues to be done. And when we need extra resources, we call them in, and when other jurisdictions need resources and we have availability, then we send them there. Our wildfire firefighters have fought fire all over the world and are well respected around the world, and we expect that to continue.
Right. Now, we saw, I think it was more than 2,400 people who responded to the call for help in South Africa and across Canada and all around the world, really. But you said yesterday you've made a funding request to the provincial finance minister to be able to hire 100 extra firefighters, and you're waiting to hear, I guess, in the provincial budget whether that's going to happen or not. Given the urgency, don't you need to know that soon so you can hire? I mean, clearly there's a need, and we saw that a year ago, and the fact that you had to ring the alarm and bring people in from around the globe. I mean, when are you going to know if you're going to get the money for those 100 positions?
Well, we can't presuppose what the legislature is going to do with the budget. We've made the ask, and I feel fairly confident that we're going to be able to get that through the budget process. But again, we're doing our hiring. We've done a lot of recruitment. We've had a record number of applicants come in for our recruitment to join in our troops when it comes to wildfire fighting. And so we're in actually really good shape when it comes to that recruitment process and bringing people online. We've also done really well with keeping some of our firefighters from last year. When the fire season ends, and people leave firefighting for the season, then we automatically offer them jobs for this upcoming season. There's been a great uptake on that. And again, I think like I say, we're in good shape right now with the amount of applicants we've had. We've already started training. We've already started testing, physical training, testing, and things like that. That's all been going on just like it always has been. And again, we're looking forward to having everybody mobile and ready. But again, we're still fighting fire as we speak right now.
No, and that's remarkable to me to find that in February there's still fires burning from last year. But I mean, it's freezing here in Ottawa, so it's shocking. But just as a final point, the federal government has been taking an increased role in responding to these natural disasters because they're happening with such greater frequency. What are you looking for from the federal government to help this year, or is it just be ready to surge in case things get bad again?
I think it's a lot of it's going to be with the surge, and then most of the firefighting is done based on provincial or municipal levels, and so that's why we have these organizations in place that can help us find resources as we need it and help other jurisdictions do the same thing. So when we look to the feds, I mean, they do sometimes provide some funding to help with wildfire, and that is appreciated, of course, but again, most of it's responsibility of the province, and we take that job very seriously and that responsibility, and we look forward to doing the best we can. We know the worst thing about the wildfire is how it affects individuals, families, businesses, and communities, and we want to make sure that's kept to the absolute minimum that we can. We know we're going to have wildfires. That's something that is natural on our landscape, and we expect that that's going to happen every year. We just got to keep from having the catastrophic wildfires that we've seen and be able to keep families and communities safe.
Todd Loewen, Alberta's Minister of Forestry. I hope the firefighting season isn't too bad this year. Thanks for your time today.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.